Hi, this is Cecilia from Tarot by Cecilia, and this is your love and finance tarot guidance for the month of October 2018. This month I am releasing this video everywhere. As you know, back in the beginning of the year, I had to relocate the love and finance as well as the weekly tarot guidances because of social media issues that were going on. And those do still exist, but I would like for some of you to be able to, reconnect if possible. And so before I begin, I want to remind you that you can access these, the love and finance and the weeklies, by downloading the Patreon app from your app store and searching for Tarot by Cecilia, and you will find them there. You'll find all of my blog posts and everything else. You can subscribe if you want. Subscriptions start at $5 per month for other additional in-depth tarot guidances, but you may download the app and follow me there if you like. Also, if you can't do Patreon and you're a Facebook individual, in order to access these, you can go in at the top of my Facebook page where it says use app, and when you click on that, it will allow you to sign up and join one of my members only areas. And this one is only $1 a month, but it ensures you that you will be able to view these videos. No algorithms, etc., and you will receive notifications that they were posted. So, that's another way of ensuring that you get to hear them. So, anyway, let's talk about October, shall we? On the 5th, Venus, which only retrogrades about every year and a half, will begin its retrograde in the sign of Scorpio. Not a place that Venus likes to be, okay? It will remain retrograde through November 16th, at which time it will have gone direct in the sign of Libra. Then on the 6th, we will see Jupiter leave shadow. Jupiter went direct back on July the 10th, but it hasn't been totally up to full speed yet. Jupiter is also in Scorpio. So, the coming 4 weeks with that, before Jupiter moves into Sagittarius on November the 8th, you're really going to have Jupiter working with you. You can always go back and check my, Jupiter and Scorpio video, which came out, I think, the tail end of September in 2017, and listen to that if you're curious what themes would have been present for you this year. Then on the 8th, Mars, which is currently in Aquarius, will leave shadow, okay, and it will be back up to full speed, and it will remain in Aquarius until November 15th when it moves on into Pisces. So that may be another one you might want to check out to see where it falls for you. On the 8th as well, we will have our annual new moon in Libra at 17 degrees. Of course, there's going to be a Patreon video for this that you can listen to. And it's always one of those times a year when I find it to be an exceptional new moon. And hopefully this year is not any different. On the 9th, Mercury will enter Scorpio. Time to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, even if the truth hurts. Yeah, Scorpio is known for that, okay? So expect the conversations to be real and intense. On the 23rd, the Sun will enter Scorpio. Now, in numerous guidances that I have done, I have been referring to getting to this time. There's something going on, like with you, with what you're doing, with progress that you're making. So we will have a great deal to talk about when we get to the Sun in Scorpio. On the 24th, there will be a full moon at 1 degree Taurus. That alone sounds extremely interesting. On the 28th, Mercury, which is still in Scorpio, will enter shadow. I feel like I should run and hide because, I feel like the bearer of bad news when I bring that up. On the 31st, Mercury will move on into Sagittarius. Okay, that's where it is actually going to begin its retrograde. On the 31st as well, Venus retrograde enters the sign of Libra. And as you recall, I said it will be going direct in Libra on November 16th. Now, I know you heard me mention Scorpio quite a bit, but there is still, you know, for the first 3 weeks of the month, and even for the first 8 days of the month, there's a stronger Libra presence that's there as well. And it's, those first 3 weeks are kind of like, maybe things are up in the air, maybe they're undecided, and then it changes. So we will see, because, you know, here it is with the Libra energy, and it's here everywhere I look. You know, we've got Venus retrograding on the 5th, and Venus is about, you know, love, money, beauty, luxury items, things of that nature. So, you know, those subjects are all here, okay? So we'll discuss them as we go. You're bound to see things come up, you know, with regard to, and even though I don't see it, I'm going to say people from the past. And if not people from the past, then definitely around current relationships that are ongoing. And, you know, at least while the sun is in Libra, you're going to see that trying to get together on the same page, trying to have some balance, maybe even a little bit of compromise thrown in there. But it's not easy, because things are proceeding this month, in the beginning of the month, at a slow pace. Concise in a sense, all right? But see, there's that need for clarity, all right? But there's also, wow, by the full moon in Taurus, which is on the 24th, you could find yourself changing your mind, having a whole new perspective. But boy, there's some sort of, I almost want to say like a force, whether you encounter energy that just feels like it's, you know, not budging for you, or a person who is fixated on things being a certain way. That Taurus full moon may bring out the bullheaded in many people. So, you know, there is like, it's almost like resistance to the change in a sense, you know, but I don't see you stopping, okay? I really truly don't. However, there is this necessity in life to, you know, kind of extricate ourselves from what is painful. That's the best way I can put it. Because sometimes we're holding on to things that just aren't good. You know, we try. We really, truly try. But see, I think that crossroads is coming up. And I don't think it waits until the full moon, to be honest with you. Something tells me it's more so, you know, right around the time of the new moon. Maybe when, like the following day, when Mercury goes into Scorpio. And I said the conversation gets honest. It digs deep. And even if you don't speak to your, you know, to anyone, you need to be honest with yourself. All right? So there is change that wants to come in. Your hopes and dreams, your abundance, all of these things, but feeling like, maybe I'm just trying to tackle too much right now. I can't figure out how to do it all. I'm telling you, it's the Libra energy. It brings those things like hesitance and doubt into play. But if you can just kind of, for the first couple of weeks, just try to go with the flow with things that are going on. This month, it's more like, I want to say it in a sense that it's setting you up, because next month is really the big month, if you ask me. Like when you get into November, there's huge shifts that are coming in. You heard me mention a few of them back at the beginning. But this month, I think it's okay to take the energy slower, all right? Remember that Venus is retrograde, so you might meet someone. Yeah, you might not want to call it Facebook official until like December, okay? After December 17th. And that's all right, okay? Keep that in mind. Let Venus do its thing. Get out of shadow. Take your time to get to know people, okay? If they were meant to be, they will still be there come December 17th. Remember that. So I'm not discouraging the idea of dating or poo-pooing it or whatever. I'm just saying it looks like there's enough other things going on here to be dealt with this month. And that steady as she goes is your best bet. You know, you also have, because Venus is going to be very prominent for you this month. So, you know, while we're going through all of this, things dealing with your finances and your job are very much going to be on your mind as well. I kind of think that as you get to month's end, the energies kind of crisscross over themselves, if you were really listening to what I had to say, because the sun is going to enter Scorpio, but then like a week later, you're going to see Venus make its way back into Libra, which is its home sign, okay? So, you know, big difference there. So I think it helps along the way between the two to keep it balanced out for you, because there is that need throughout everything here. But I'll tell you what, I want to say that it's after the new moon that you achieve that proper balance that you're looking for, okay? I've always felt that the new moon in Libra is substantially positive for some reason, and that's when you're going to see it's almost like karmic what's coming in, and it's playing out probably over, I want to say, 2 months, say from like the new moon in Libra to the new moon in Sagittarius, okay? Things are going to start moving. So if you enter October thinking that things are not going real quick, that they're at a standstill, whatever, you know, use that time to look everything over. Make sure you understand for sure what it is you want to do, because I want to say there's a significant turn around the 3rd week in November, okay? I don't know why I want to say that, but I think it's around that time frame. But it's progressive. Like in October, by the 3rd week in October, things are really moving, and they keep on going. And you're going to be like, wow, I need to, how do I keep up the pace? But there's some really good things that are coming in. It represents major change. Some of this is really attached to an area of life where you've been looking for freedom, where you've been held, you know, feeling held back and restricted, you know, because when we reconvene to do this next month, to do the November Love and Finance, you've got your game face on. You are ready for anything. Major changes coming in. But this is the part that's interesting. Sometimes we say, like, things are within, they're around you. This is everywhere, okay? It's like, like I said, it's kind of like you need a scorecard and you can't keep up. Because once the changes start coming in, they're going on and the pace is rapid. You're seeing things really transpiring. I don't want to say this month's new moon, but I want to say, you know, you see a lot more happening by the next one, and then the next one. There's something emotionally satisfying that's coming your way. You know, it's like, first it's like, you're just like, no, like this is what I'm doing, I'm not giving up, da-da-da-da-da-da. And then you just decide. You know, we talk about this all the time, about what's worth it, what's not worth it, whatever, and you're like, there's something that you feel is not worth the fight, or perhaps you feel like you have successfully overcome something and you're ready to move on. But the way I see it, it's all good, because this month the universe is really trying to, you know, line things up for you, and this is about what will make you happy. We've discussed this so many times. Everything that you've been through, like going through hell since 2012, okay? And you came out the other side, and you have made, you know, big changes to your life and drastic improvements to your life. Like I was saying it somewhere the other day, some of you have changed jobs, you've changed homes, you've changed relationships, you've changed pretty much everything. But there's also something that has been elusive, something that you haven't been able to see. Maybe there's a little hint of it at the time of the new moon. You know, we'll have to see. But the universe is definitely conspiring to help you, you know, to reach toward this happiness. It's in that time frame. It's in that new moon time frame. I'm telling you, there's definitely something going on. Now, when you look back over this, you know, a lot of times I always say, you know, like hindsight is 2020. You'd be like, wow, I knew this would happen. I didn't know when, but all of a sudden, it's here. But what happens when something suddenly shows up that could make you happy? Yeah, you know, after everything you've been through, maybe you're a little bit skeptical because life has been a little, you know, disillusioning, all right? So, you ask yourself, is it real? Is it not? Am I ready for this next adventure? You know what? Think on it. Think on it. Doesn't mean like whatever, doesn't mean don't go on a date, like I told you. So that just there's this need here to take your time with things, to make sure that they really are what they are, that there is sincerity in what is happening here. There's a big change coming between this month and next month, and you are feeling more so than you have in a while that you are in charge. Now, what's interesting here is, you know, I talked about with Venus, with relationships, and all these other things, all right? This is a time, it's a very determining time. Not as in being determined, but a time frame which determines the outcome of some relationships, whether coming or going. You know, the romantic ones, is the romance there? Any other ones, you know, is the abundance there? Is it more work than it's worth? Okay, you got to remember, a good relationship does take work, but you should not feel as though you're shouldering the load to make it happen. Whatever your situation is, if you feel like, you know, another individual is kind of along for a free ride and taking advantage, definitely need to, you know, walk away from that. That is not in your best interest, you know, and that's part of what's here. There's a lot that's going on, like I said, around your relationships, around your finances. So this is the month where love and finance will be very key to you. Now, with regard to the Venus retrograde, I mentioned earlier about luxury items. Okay, don't buy them, all right? There will be a time frame that we will be discussing coming up where, you know, you can fit some things in, all right? Because we will have a Mercury retrograde before Christmas, but kind of think of it the same way. Don't go buying that fancy TV or phone this month. We will talk about it later. You'll have the opportunity to purchase it as a holiday gift if you so desire. So, you know, just be patient with that. All right, now, as far as from the time of the new moon in Libra until the sun enters Scorpio, you know, be chill, okay? I don't know how else to explain it. Be chill. Let your intuition help guide you, all right? Don't be forceful toward others. Be kind, be gentle, be helpful if you can. You know, there is this need here to, I want to say, to gain the upper hand by not being forceful. You'd be surprised how far it can get you. Now, there is sort of a need here to combine what you know with what you feel, all right? So that you can use it to your best creative advantage. Because this is about that, you know, like if you say to yourself, these are my goals, this is my to-do list, this is who I want to be when I grow up. There's some form of success with this where you're able to accomplish more, or more than one, I want to say, of these things in these coming 4 weeks. All right, so that's to your advantage. Now, oh boy, see, relationship issues and feeling that there is something that's eluding you, okay, and it's just out of your grasp. So you finally get control of that. It's almost like I've brought the new moon up quite a bit here, and it feels like one of the turning points this month, almost as though, you know, the new moon and then the sun. All right, so activities, events that are happening in your life between the 8th and the 23rd are probably going to be among the most significant of the month. All right, success through persistence. Absolutely. See, that's where your power is, okay? See, you can have success without backing down, but without being forceful. You know, there's a difference. You don't come in like a bull in a china shop. You kind of just, take it easy. Sometimes you work behind the scenes. That could be that Scorpio vibe going on. This Scorpio tends to be a little more secretive, and that's not meant in a bad way. It's just in more of a private way. You may not be ready to unveil the new you just yet, but it's coming in the future. I kind of think, where we at, October? Oh, probably in the next 6 months, by like March, April, the world is really going to see what it is that you've been working on. It's not to say you have to wait until then to have it, but this is kind of like a story that's playing out for you, a cycle that's coming up. So you're going to keep working on it. We've got like the new moon in March that's here, and yeah. So, and here we started out only talking about October, right? But where you are and what you're doing. See, I see choices here this month and new plans being made, and plans always need to be tweaked. We always need to be flexible. Like I said, I feel like there's just this need in the beginning of the month to kind of just go with the flow and keep pushing forward in a consistent manner, not in a, crazy, erratic manner. But, what tends to happen here? Little things come up, little reminders, especially when you have like a retrograde going on, and it maybe brings up things from the past, and you know how that train of thought goes, and all of a sudden your mind's over here, and you're thinking about something that's just like, oh God, I hope that never happens again. I don't want to do that again. It was a challenging time. But see, there's a difference now. You are much more prepared and ready to rise to the challenges. Your fears are just that. They are fears. You have come way too far. And wow, you are so ready to manifest. It's amazing. There's a saying that I kind of think applies here, that like making a silk purse from a sow's ear. All right, so whenever you encountered something really bad in your life that was disappointing, that was difficult, that created a loss, there is something beautiful that's coming from it. I am not going to use the word something that's better, okay? Because loss comes in all different forms. And however, you have gained so much wisdom. And here you go. There's something happening. I don't think it's this month, all right? But I feel like it's coming. It's something that you've waited for in a very long time. But I'm telling you, there's a hint of it this month in some way. Or at least where, even if you see it off in a distance and you're wondering about it, this is kind of what's going on. You're working on something and you're working toward a certain goal. And in the meantime, it feels like there's something else or another person that's working on something and working toward another goal. Eventually, these things have to meet up. But what you're discovering in this coming time frame is who you truly are. And does this situation, does this person, whatever it is that exists and is trying to come into being in the coming months, it aligned with your highest and best purpose? Because there's major change that's coming here. You're going to see new chapters of life opening up. And, it's just follow your life from new moon to new moon to new moon. I say that so often, and it is so true. So I want to thank you very much for being here. I hope that you enjoyed this and returning to, being able to hear my love and finance once again. I apologize that they had to be removed, but you can go to Patreon and download the app from your app store, or you can click on Use App at the top of my Facebook page. So have a great month, everyone. Take care.